Hello, hello, Sarah Waggle here, astrologer and leadership coach here for this moon in Libra. This is that new moon solar eclipse, ring of fire solar eclipse that peaks on October 14th at about 12:54 p.m. Central Time. Adjust for your time zone, of course. And by the time we reach this new moon, this eclipse, well, maybe hopefully we'll be able to appreciate it. Now, I do want to say something that I haven't mentioned in the previous few videos is that if you're watching this video and you're working with a coach or a support person, you may experience things very differently than those who are not doing any sort of inner work or healing work. And I think that's important to note as we move through this process, because they may be demonstrating or showing it a little differently or a lot differently, just because they're not doing the work. And if you're doing the work, then you may notice them doing it differently, and that's okay, right? We're all in different levels of this process. And so we do have some momentum type energy as the inner planets, meaning Mars, Mercury, and Venus, move forward. Venus is the ruler of this solar eclipse, this new moon, and she's also the ruler of the lunar eclipse in Taurus later this month. But as we get to this, you may have processed what you needed to process. However, I do, of course, encourage intention writing, journaling, processing, being amongst supportive people, being by yourself if that's what it calls for. But definitely, you may already have processed what you needed to process, and you can actually focus and set intentions and be ready for the next batch of energy to kick in. In Star Trek Tarot, we do have the sun in reverse. This is the Loxana Troi, not at her best. And that's because the sun is not at its best today. And, as the sun has been moving through Libra, Libra is not the sun's favorite place to be. It is compromised here because it's at fall. And so you may not even feel like being energetic. You may not even feel like being, anything today. And that's okay. That is really okay. This could be an energy zapper, just because it's been such a purge of an old way of being or an old habit, an old process, and therefore you may be exhausted, and that is okay. And so I think whatever you are feeling today is, or throughout this Libra moon in Libra cycle, I think it's okay to just accept and be compassionate, practice that new self-love that you are embodying and taking in, put it into play, and be okay with, I just don't feel it today. It's all good. It's all good. And be ready for the next wave of energy. And so since this is a solar eclipse, this is an annular or a ring of fire solar eclipse, and so the moon is a bit smaller than the sun, leaving a ring of fiery sun around it. And on the 28th of this month, we will experience a lunar eclipse in Taurus. And so this could be like a 2-week long portal. Sometimes it's called the eclipse portal. I'm not such a huge fan of portals, and I think it's just because it's been so overused. Like there's this portal and that portal and blah, blah, blah portal. However, it is a gap in time or a space in time where we set a new standard for how we're going to practice life, right? Everything that we take on is a practice. We get to practice patience, we get to practice self-love, we get to practice gratitude. And I do think that this could be a very good stretch for being very diligent in our practices, being very diligent, taking the time, the very intentional time to practice gratitude, to practice self-love, however that shows up for you, whether that's affirmations or journaling, or just simply, I'm going to eat healthier, I'm going to start exercising, and being very intentional as those practices, with those practices over the next couple of weeks to really set the tone for this eclipse energy. Remember, eclipses in many cases can be felt for about 6 months, if not a year. This one probably more like 6 months though, after the fact. This eclipse also, if you watched my Libra new moon sun signs, does go through the United States. It starts in about the Portland, Oregon, maybe even South Washington State. It's going to go through Nevada, Utah, parts of Arizona, perhaps parts of Colorado, definitely through Texas, and then move down towards South America. And so it does go through the United States, which is notably interesting because we also have the finishing of the United States Pluto return. So the United States is going through some shit and some stuff and some transformation. Maybe you haven't noticed. I don't know. Anywho, so take that with you. And you know, the last few videos, I've definitely talked about being you and being yourself through all of this. And that is how we make the world great again, heal the world, make it a better place. That song from Michael Jackson just keeps ringing in my head. But we really do heal the world by healing ourselves. We really do heal the world by being our own light, because we radiate that light out from our body in, you know, into those around us. And so it's really an invitation to a conscious behavior of gratitude, of joy, of love, and those sorts of things. And so I'm very thankful that I have this work. I'm grateful that you are here to hear this and to hear me talk about it. I really appreciate your presence on my YouTube channel, on my Instagram, wherever you find me these days. So that's the moon in Libra. And I hope it's wonderful for you. I would love to hear in the comments what you have felt, what you have been going through. I really appreciate your interaction and engagement, and I will talk to you on the next video. Bye for now.